Hi everybody, Johnny here. I hope you're doing great today. You can find more good math at jmathpage.com. Today we're looking at multiplying sevens, and we're going to be using an idea called scaling. Scaling has to do with things getting stretched out or shrunk, made bigger or larger. And we're going to use scaling to think about multiplication and multiplying sevens. Now, in order to think about scaling, we need something to measure. So I'm going to start by giving myself something to measure. I'll start down here so I give myself lots of room to grow things. So I've made a line here, and I'm going to call this line just one, a unit of one measure. So this is one measure tall. And in scaling, I want to make it bigger and bigger and bigger, but we'll start with just one. And everything else will be a different size compared to this one. Now what if I take this one line and I want to make it twice as tall? I want to scale it to be taller. Well, I have to go up one measure and then another measure as well. And as I go up here, I can see now that this line is twice as tall, 2 times as tall as this line. So this is twice the measure. This is only 1 times the measure of itself. Alright, let's keep growing things. What if I start here and I want to grow something 3 times as tall? 1 measure, 2 measures, 3 measures tall. I can see that it's 1, 2, 3 times bigger than this one. So this one now is 3 times as big as our first measure, 3 times as tall as the first one. Let's keep growing. Let's grow one that's 4 times as big. So start with a base, a measure of 1, measure of 2, a measure of 3, a measure of 4. So this line here is 4 measures compared to just the 1 measure here. So this one is 4 times as big. Let's keep growing. Let's start with a base here and start measuring up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times as tall as the first measure. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is only just 1. So this one has to be 5 times as tall. The next one, let's see. I want to measure this one 6 times as tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times as tall. Alright, so 6 times as tall. Now I should mark that and say this is 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times as tall as the very first one. Okay, growing and growing. What about the next one? The next one, 1 measure, 2 measures, 3 measures, 4 measures, 5 measures, 6 measures, 7 measures tall. Alright, so 7 times as tall as the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And this is only just 1. Okay, we're getting higher and higher. 1 measure, 2 measures, 3 measures, 4 measures, 5 measures, 6 measures, 7 measures, 8 measures tall. 8 measures tall here. So this one is 8 times as tall as the one before. And this is just 1 measure. The next one is going to be 9 measures tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 measures tall. So this one is 9 times the measurement of the original one. 9 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 times as tall as our first one. Okay, so we can see that scale means growing. We can also think about it as shrinking as well. So this is 9 times But this is only 8, and this is only 7, and this is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So things can shrink as well. But what does this mean in relation to the idea of multiplying 7's? Well, let's try this out together. So I'm going to draw 7 boxes here in our first measure. So here's 7 boxes. Okay? It's just 7 boxes by 1 stack tall. So one stack of 7 boxes. How many boxes altogether? Just 7. Okay. But what happens if I double that stack and make it twice as tall? Well, let's do that and find out. 1 stack, 2 stacks tall. All right, how many boxes altogether if I have 2 stacks of 7 boxes? Well, 7 and 7 more gives me 14. What about 3 stacks of 7 boxes? Let's make it 1, 2, 3. How many boxes altogether? If I have 3 stacks of 7 boxes, well, 7 and 7 is 14. 14 and 7 more give me 21. 21 is 3 times as much as 7 when I only had just one group of 7. What about 4 groups of 7? 4 stacks of 7 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks of 7 boxes. 4 stacks of 7. How many boxes altogether? 7 and 7 is 14. 14 and 7 is 21. 21 and 7 is 28. What about 5 stacks of 7 boxes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stacks of 7 boxes. 5 of 7. How many boxes altogether? 7 and 7 are 14. 14 and 7 make 21. 21 and 7 give us 28. 28 and 7 more? 35. So 5 stacks of 7 boxes gives us 35 boxes altogether, which is 7 times 5. But this is also 5 times as tall as our first stack. What about 6 stacks of 7 boxes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stacks of 7 boxes. Okay, so how many boxes altogether? 7 and 7 are 14. 7 more is 21. 7 more is 28. 7 more is 35. 7 more gives us 42. So 6 stacks of 7 boxes gives us 42, which is 6 times as many boxes as our first set of 7. How about the next stack? 7 boxes of 7. So let's see, 7 stacks of 7 start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stacks of 7 boxes. How many boxes altogether? 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, and 7 more, 49. So 7 stacks of 7 boxes give us 49, which is 7 times the height as our first stack. 8 stacks of 7 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stacks of 7 boxes. All right, how many boxes altogether? 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, and 7 more? 56 boxes altogether. So 8 stacks of 7 boxes is 8 times as many boxes altogether as our first stack of 7 boxes. Let's do the tallest stack now. 1 stack, 2 stacks, 3 stacks, 4 stacks, 5 stacks, 6 stacks, 7 stacks, 8 stacks, 9 stacks of 7 boxes. Tallest by far. So how many boxes altogether? 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56. 56 and 7 more take us to 63. 63 boxes all together here, which is 9 times as many boxes as our first stack of 7. Well, you can see how things just grew and grew and grew and grew. Now let's think about one more thing. We want to think about scaling one more time. So let's start here at just our stack of 1. Our 1 stack of 7 starts here, and we watched as it grew to twice as tall, 3 times as tall, 4 times as tall, 5 times as tall, 6 times as tall, 7 times as tall, 8 times as tall, and 9 times as tall. So that's our stack of 7 growing and growing and growing. Okay? But scaling can also mean shrinking. So let's take a look at this for a moment. Look at our stacks here. We had 6 stacks of 7 boxes. Okay? But what if I said I only want half a stack that size? How big would that be? If this is 6 stacks of 7 boxes, what would half a stack be? What would this look like if it were just half as tall? Well, it would be just 3 stacks of 7, right? So I can think about things shrinking from 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. So scaling can mean growing, or it can mean shrinking as well. I hope this has been helpful to you.